Ratha, Judge Ratha, abameli njalo bebekhuluma izinto eyibopha ilokhuzana eyikhipha ama-accuse ecaleni uyabahlinela ubacindezele uze wathi umuntu we-DNA ushilo wathi according to i-summary yale DNA yama-DNA wathathile uyaveza ukuthi bonke ama-accuse are excluded. Ningazosibalela 2% lethi khona u2% one lo 2% wawubala uyavela vele labo 2% angabebala lezi zinto zakho kodwa mesenzi summary yakho konke kuyavela ukuthi akekho wayikhona kulawo.
Absolutely, Fisomi was right. DNA has spoken. Umlomo wathethe imanga. So whatever you say, you cannot dispute it. If you dispute it, the case will be taken on appeal, and on appeal, you'll be embarrassed as the state or as the judge. So DNA says these guys were not there. But before we speak about today's video, please watch this video, and you'll see ukuthi iyinkinga zaqala absolutely case le tanko.
Two teams in the police that were investigating this matter. One reporting to the minister, one reporting to the National Commissioner. And these teams were at loggerheads with each other. If I recall correctly, they may even, I stand to be corrected, they may even have been dockets open by one team against the other. It was a total mess. There were requests by the teams for specific prosecutors from the Johannesburg office. There were allegations that against certain prosecutors. And in an effort to salvage the case, I discussed the matter with the DPP of Pretoria and Gauteng and said, we're going to take this case out of Johannesburg and transfer jurisdiction to Pretoria, get a prosecutor from Pretoria to look at both the dockets, at all the evidence, and decide on how to proceed and unravel this in this case. And so that is what happened. But that was done by the NPA in an effort to ensure that the victims in this case got justice. And it's something like that should never happen in our criminal justice system.
Yeah, there was Advocate Shamila Patoi, the recently retired NPA head. As we speak, Shamila Patoi is in big trouble because she walked out of the Nkabinde inquiry. Remember, Nkabinde inquiry was investigating the fitness of office of Advocate Chauke. But when it was too hot in the kitchen, she jumped and left. So my point is that she should be arrested the same way Jacob Zuma was arrested, because Zuma withdrew from the Zondo Commission of Inquiry without the permission of Zondo, and then they went to the Constitutional Court and then secured an arrest, of which I still believe it was illegal, because if you are to be arrested and sentenced, you should appear before a judge and defend yourself. But that was not the case in the story of Zuma. However, sikhoke lapha uShamila Patoi in that video Mzulu utheni uthi amaphoyisa ne-NPA were in disagreement. Then she decided to move the case from the Gauteng division yase-Joburg wayisa kwi-Gauteng division yase-Pretoria. It's the same province, but it's a different jurisdiction. My problem is that yena njenge-prosecutor wakufana decide yena ukuthi which docket to pursue, not to leave it in the hands of the prosecutors. Remember, in the case of Jacob Zuma, go back, arms deal, that case was decided upon by the national prosecutor. Do we charge Zuma or not? Yena, she left it to her juniors, which is why now we have the likes of Baloyi and Advocate Sibanda showing us nonsense. They are telling us that these 5 men before court shot and unalived Sezomenyiwe, but the evidence that is before court ayihlangani, iyashoda kakhulu. And you saw for the past months and about 2 weeks, Wantans was still on the stand, and Baloyi could not show us any evidence that put Wantans in the crime scene. How do we say so? Umuntu mbeka kwi-crime scene ngani ngama-fingerprints, DNA, or ngama-witnesses asendlini ambona at the time. Remember that time Mtanzi could not be identified by any of them. So Ushamla Patoy should have looked at the docket and then realized that there is no evidence here. So Ushamla Patoy is part of the problem in the Mayo case. That is why it has dragged for so many years, because we arrested the wrong man. And Ubaloy can say that he's got the wrong man before court, yet he continued to prosecute them. The fact that the EFF member of parliament, Ulo Uli Mathis, told parliament that she went to the Kumal household on the 26th of October 2014, that was the day Senzo was shot. She went to the crime scene and nobody stopped her from entering. It shows what that crime scene was tempered, and therefore you cannot rely on anything that is related to the crime scene. Swabs, the tests that were done there in the house, and remember that they could not find the bullet jackets or the bullet that shot Senzo Meyiwa on the day that Senzo was shot. But on the following day, I think it was Captain Mhlahlo, he found the bullet behind the grass jar. That clearly shows you that bullet there was planted on the crime scene. So as Shamila Patoy, who is seasoned prosecutor, she should have asked herself, okay, on the day when the crime was committed, the police could not find any bullet jacket or projectile or whatever, then they find it on the following day. Is it not strange to her? It shows you very well, okay, that bullet was planted there. So these men before court are just there because the crime scene was cooked. It was cooked. The evidence that is before court is cooked entirely. And you cannot tell me what Obuni, because Ubaloy, when he asked Ntanzi, okay, Ntanzi, where were you on the 26th of October 2014? Ntanzi said, Gangsemakai. As the prosecutor, as Ubaloy, then when I was supposed to bring evidence, he was at the crime scene. We looked at our telephone records, Ntanzi, and on the day that Senzo was shot, he did not communicate with any of the accused, either Sibia, Mpisa, Ntulu, whoever. He did not. Kodwa Ubaloy uthi he was there. DNA iyasho ukuthi labantu bo 5, they are excluded from sample taken from the house, meaning that they were all not there at the crime scene. It is simple, straightforward. Yena is now relying on the telephone records 2018 and 2019 to try and link these accused. Even if they communicated in 2018, 19, 2020, it is past the death date of Senzo Meyiwa. The communication record that is relevant, it is the one that was before or on the day that Senzo was shot and unalived. That's a straightforward and simple equation that Baloy needed to solve. But he did not have such information about Ntanzi. And we were told that Ntanzi had other pending cases. That is why they kept him in prison for so long. Remember that if you were arrested, you must appear before a judge or a magistrate within 48 hours. Band of 48 hours, it's 2 days. If we divided 48 by 2, it's 24 hours, meaning that it's 2 days. But Ntanzi awenzekanga lokho. He was spent there until about June 16. June 17, 18, 19, 20, wangaya enkantolo. So that on its own shows that our rights Ntanzi were violated. And then Ukininda now is hiding behind Oguchi Ntanzi had other pending cases. That is why he was kept in prison, which is a lie. Remember that we were told that Ntanzi had the Nongoma case to answer to, but that case started and finished without Ntanzi. So from that information alone, you can see that the state is just playing games here. There is no case against Ntanzi. Simple, straightforward. And Gininda tells us that Kelly Khumalo is the mastermind that orchestrated this entire killing of Senzo Meyiwa. And Kelly Khumalo was very brave. I think it was last year or 2024. She released a video where she dared Baloy and Gininda to arrest her. She said, if you've got evidence against me, stop talking, come and get me. If you've forgotten, Let me just play that video so you can see what each.
Enough is enough. It stops here and it stops today. I'm not going to be diplomatic about this. I'm not going to release press statements. I am not going to waste my money hiring lawyers to speak on my behalf. Udoti nje udoti. If you strongly believe that I am capable of what you're accusing me of, very simple. Come and get me. It's that simple. I'm not above the law. But I think I'm at the point where I am enough of you people dragging my name through the mud. It stops now. These stupid humiliation rituals that you've been performing, Ngami, over the years. Enough. If you feel that I am the woman that you are coming after, simple. Come and get me. Akekho umuntu engimesabayo. Till then, back off. Back off.
Yeah, that was Kelly Khumalo. Clearly that video, she's telling them that if you've got evidence against me, arrest me, stop tarnishing my image. If I was here, I would do the same because I know she did not participate in the shooting of Mayo. The only crime that Abu Kelly Khumalo and Abu Zandi that they committed was to lie to the police about the real identity of the shooter. We know who shot Sazmiwa by mistake. How do you know that? We were told by a statement which alleges that Longutwala is the one that shot Senzo Ngephutha. So the only crime Kelly Khumalo that she committed was to lie about the true identity of the shooter. That's it. Now we move over to the evidence of this week. Remember that Ubo Wantans has been on the stand for the past month and about 2 weeks extra. And Baloyi was at pains to repeat the same questions over and over. So now Ramosepila got a chance to debunk some of the questions that were brought in by Baloyi. Ramosepila is not done, but I was hoping that he was going to be straight to the point. The first thing that he should have addressed was Ntanzi's alibi, because I think it is the most important part of this defense. Utuntanzi wayekuphi on the day. He asked him, but he did not push it on for Ntanzi to say, I am going to call a witness that is going to confirm where I was on the day, because that is what Ntanzi needs. He needs to bring someone that will say, I saw Ntanzi at Nongoma on the 26th of October 2014. If Ntanzi does not do that, then I think Urata and all these state people are going to be happy, because the judge would conclude and say, Ntanzi did not bring a witness that confirmed his alibi. That's all that matters. So Ramosepile was supposed to ask Ntanzi about that. Ntanzi, okay, are you going to call any witness to confirm your alibi? That's all I want to hear from Ntanzi. On the day. Remember that he said when Mcimbi, and then there was some lobola negotiations and so on. So he should bring one of those individuals that are there, Umkhongi or Umkhulu, whoever that's going to come and tell the court, Ntanzi, yes, Ntanzi was at Nongoma on this day and I saw him. If Ntanzi does that, then Baloyi cannot debunk that, because there would be an eyewitness that actually saw Ntanzi in Nongoma. It will debunk all the lies that he told before court. Secondly, he needs a witness that is going to debunk the story of Ntanzi wearing a phone during his stay in prison. He needs to bring Ulebo, Mama Ntanzi, and whoever that was allegedly phoned by that number. Remember that Kinina told us that Ntanzi phoned Ulebo over 100 times while he was in prison. But Ntanzi, when he was asked by Ubalo, he said those calls were made by his number, but he was not the one that was phoning because he did not have his phone at that point. He said it, Umabena is the one that had his phone. So Mabena was the one that was phoning people that are related to Bongani and his girlfriend and so on. So Ramasipile, he needed to make a point to judge there's a witness that's going to come, because without that witness to debunk the story Untanzi was in Johannesburg. Secondly, the story Untanzi was the one that was making those calls. The Untanzi's case is going to be in big trouble because there is that fake confession that we know it's fake, but now it's difficult to get rid of it because the judge provisionally accepted that confession, so which was wrong. But that's the story for another day. So I am hoping that Ramasipile on Monday is going to address those issues that are important to Untanzi's defense. It's to put to the witness, okay, there's a witness that is coming to confirm your alibi. That's all that Untanzi needs to do. And then Ramasipile also address the issue of this Nongoma case. We know for a fact that Gininda is lying about that. Remember that Gininda said Untanzi was kept in prison for more than 48 hours without appearing in court because he had pending cases in Nongoma and so on. Ramasipile touched there briefly with okay, Untanzi, do you know anything about those cases? And Untanzi made it a point to tell the court that no, I was not involved in the Nongoma case. If I was involved, then the police from Nongoma know where to find me. They would have come and questioned me and then charged me for that Nongoma case. That is if I was part of. And to Untanzi's defense is right because he was never charged. The only person that was charged for that case is Nkosi Buthelezi. He was charged and then found guilty. But Untanzi was never called as a witness or as a suspect. So ngesizobona ukuthi Monday yini ezokwenzeka, but Ramasipile he needs to be tough. He needs to fight for Untanzi because Untanzi is facing life sentence. Life sentence that's about 25 years, and Untanzi ukhumbule ukuthi akana previous conviction. So the fact that the judge Ledwaba denied him bail, it's another travesty of justice. I was hoping that Ramasipile would try and appeal the decision at the higher court. Remember, because that decision was taken by Ledwaba at high court, but he can appeal it to a different judge because in South Africa, you can appeal up until the return of Jesus Christ. Remember, Zuma has been appealing those cases for years. So Untanzi can do the same here because you do not need money to appeal. If you've got legal aid, they can pay for all those appeals. So I'm surprised that Untanzi has not appealed that failed bail refusal by Ledwaba. So I'm hoping that Ramasipile is going to try and get a bail for Untanzi. Shebeshit, I think, was arrested last year, November or early December, and he has appealed his bail about 3 times, and yet he's still not getting that bail. But he's trying. That shows a sign of a lawyer that is fighting for his client. So Ramasipile must also try and do that. Try and bring the bail application Untanzi on new facts, on new evidence, and so on. I'm sure the judge will entertain him. Not to let Ledwaba judge this time because that's what you need. And then on Monday, I'm sure Ramasipile is going to finish his re-examination of Bongani, but he needs to mention a witness that will come into his defense because that is very vital to prove that on the day when Senzo was shot, he was not in Gauteng. And then once Untanzi is done testifying, I'm hoping that he'll bring Ulebo or one of his relatives to confirm his alibi. And thereafter, we move over to one of Samakubo or Mlungihlobo. Remember, one of Samakubo is the post officer that opened docket 75 alongside Joseph Buthelezi. That's the post officer that is going to debunk all the lies by Brigadier Gininda and tell us why did he open a case against Brigadier Gininda. Remember that in the first video that I played, Shamla Patoy said the police opened cases against each other, he was referring to Makubo. Makubo opened a case of defeating the end of justice against Brigadier Ginina because Ginina stole that statement allegedly. So once Makubo puts it on record, then the credibility of Brigadier Ginina will be in doubt. And thereafter, Makubo must explain why did he open docket 5 and explain some part of the evidence that is contained in that docket, because that will help to create reasonable doubt in docket 636. Because that's all you need to do. The defense need not to prove that the accused are innocent. No. They must prove ukuthi it is possible through ulenda bayishoyo iqiniso kuphela and create doubt on the state evidence. If the judge is in doubt, then the judge is forced to acquit. Remember in the case of Amatoso, the judge said, Amatoso, I do not believe what you are telling the truth, but the state has failed to prove its case beyond reasonable doubt. Therefore, I found you not guilty. So, the judge in the case of Amatoso was not convinced with Amatoso kumqiniso. But ngoba i-NPA yahluleka ukuveza evidence enough ekhombisayo ukuthi Amatoso is guilty of those charges that were laid against him. The judge said, no, Amatoso, I'm setting you free. But I'm sure most of you agree with Amatoso. He surely did some of those heinous crimes, but the state failed to prove. So now in the case, the state has failed to prove its case beyond reasonable doubt. So Makubo, Joseph Buthelezi, will help the defense to create that doubt. Remember that Makubo had to resign from the police because he was being harassed, and they even laid charges against him, and then the court found him not guilty. So it was part of a strategy to harass him so that he is moved away totally in the Mayo case, but they failed because Makubo did not change. He even came and testified for the defense during the trial, within the trial, and said Ukininda is misleading the court. So Makubo is going to be a very important witness because he directly contradicts the evidence of Brigadier Ginina. Remember, he said he is the one that arrested who accused number 5, and he knows his profile, but the Mayo case, he was not part of because he knows his profile and behavior. He knows what if Nkabe comes to a house, he will not leave any witnesses. And in the Mayo case, we know that witnesses were not shot, only Senzo was shot, meaning that the shooting of Senzo Meyiwa was not done by Nkabis. So it was done by an amateur that shot Senzo Ngeput. But asazi ukuthi yini ezokwenzeka